Pradeep, very good morning to you. It's been a pleasure to connect with you, Pradeep, and let me congratulate you for the 3D GRAPHY Medical Awards 2020, Indigenous 3D metal printer manufacturing company for dental and medical services in India. Pradeep, it's good
Thank
to
you.
connect with you, and I know somebody who is really working in 3D printing space for almost last 2 decades in the engineering space, and now uh, representing Intech DMLS, Intech Additive Solutions. I'm sorry,
Yeah, additive solution.
offering an indigenous metal printer has always been a challenge, and I'm sure once you've actually achieved it, you being one of the leading companies today in terms of having introduced this in the market is really commendable and for the effort, because I'm
Thank you.
sure there's a lot of research which needs to go into it in terms of your time, effort, investment, and then create a metal 3D printer uh, is really commendable. And we
Thank you.
congratulate you for the efforts. Let me know from you, Pradeep, your journey to begin with, and then your pathway to see that how dental and medical can be also in your portfolio, offering the solutions to the fraternity.
Well, thanks, Shivu, and good morning. And thank you really for giving us this award. We feel proud to receive it. Yes, and we are so really happy to be the first Indian company to design and manufacture powder bed fusion based 3D printer. But I think we are the only metal 3D printer available in India. I mean, India made one. So yeah, to talk about my beginnings in additive or rapid prototyping, as that was they were called those days. Well, it happened when actually I was working for a company called SDRC, Structural Dynamics Research Corporation, CAD/CAM major in 90s, which today has morphed as Siemens PLM. So I was working with SDRC, which a young team at that time, just four of us, setting up ops in India. And around 90, I started with them in 92, and around 95, my boss's boss, Jim Fenrick, in the US, he moved from SDRC to this startup, this $3.4 million startup called Stratasys. Unheard of. Even the field of rapid prototyping was really unheard of those days. I just started hearing about this technology called SLA, stereolithography, that could turn the CAD models into a physical model. Just heard about it, never seen one. Of course, no internet those days, and so it's word of mouth. And okay, not in mind. So then I get a call from Jim Fenrick, excuse me, and he started talking about Stratasys with me. And once we had a meeting, and still wasn't easy, and I was working for this big SDRC, and the prospect of joining a very small startup wasn't really exciting, and I really didn't understand the field that much till Jim invited, actually Scott Crump, the CEO and the founder, he invited me to Minneapolis to come and have a look at what Stratasys was doing. Man, that was an eye-opener. When I walked in and I saw those models, those engineering models and parts being printed in, in a CAD model actually that I can hold, physically feel, test, it just wowed me. I think that's it. I was a convert to additive straight away. Uh, you know, from there to signing up for the job as regional director for India and Southeast Asia was just a few days away, because a lot of my friends and including my father thought I lost my mind in moving from this big company to a small company. But looking back, Jim Fendrick probably did me a great favor getting me into this field. So I spent a lot of time 19 years to be precise with Stratasys. Then, well, I think that was a long time to move on. I moved to, to bring the first, to bring SLM into India. I opened the office and worked with SLM for 3 years. And then I took a break and I really I was not too keen on joining another MNC. Meanwhile, Sridhar Balram was talking to me about a homegrown machine. And well, I held on. That's kind of the thing I wanted to do. I waited, and well, this April, Sridhar called me up and said, "Yes, we are ready," and went down. And to my big excitement, I saw the first India-made part of it, Fusion, working, and that's it. I'm in working with Intech to take this India-made machine forward, not just in India, globally. I look forward for this journey.
So, I mean, you're well set in terms of Prime Minister's initiative of Atmanirbhar Bharat, and I'm sure very proud to have a machine of that caliber, which can offer solutions across sectors and industry. Naming a few sectors is aerospace and defense, which you've been working very closely, and also the other sectors like automotive and oil and gas. These are all big sectors. But yeah, coming back to where 3D graphy medical, since we have actually and we have 3D printing world as a platform where we can discuss on those lines separately. But very specific to 3D graphy, just to brief you, 3D graphy started last year. The clear intention was to promote 3D printing, and not only 3D printing, but across 3D other technologies, where it comes to 3D scanning, imaging, simulation, and also now that we've added AR in the kitty, augmented reality is also going to be something which is going to complement 3D printing and 3D imaging and all of that. And medical practitioners are definitely going to benefit from this. And we initiated this. We have 3 partners who have come on board with us. We also have an initiative wherein we have technology partners who work with us. And we have 3D graphy panel members who are end users and doctors and surgeons and researchers who come with the intent of knowing the technology, learning this technology, and then disseminating it within their specialization and circle of influence.
Right.
So that's larger intent. So coming back to the larger intent for dental and medical, what do you see Intech's role as a medical 3D printer company going forward in this particular fraternity?
Well, to begin with, I couldn't have put it better than what you said. Yes, I think Intech is right in time with the Prime Minister's drive for Atmanirbhar. I'm sure having a India-made metal printer would make a lot of difference in the way this market is going to absorb. Shibu, as a matter of fact, we know that since 20 years we've been having metal printers in India, right? But if you look at the number of installations, it's probably not more than 100, 110 machines. So, the big challenge has been the investment, because all these machines were imported, and by the time you paid the customs duty and the high machine costs, and brought them and installed them, ran into 5-6 crores for a mid-range machine, probably 2 crores plus for a small machine, and then you had the problem of spares. Machines could be down for weeks and months. So having a homegrown machine could change all that. Yes, Atmanirbhar and additive manufacturing is a reality with Intech's first machine. And I'm very sure that other Indian companies will follow. Maybe more part of it, fusion machines or EBM or DED machines will follow. And so the ecosystem will grow in India, and I'm pretty excited for it. As far as medical market goes, it's something that we definitely would want to focus on. Intech, as far as hardware sales is concerned, we have as a company we have a history in additive manufacturing. Intech set up India's first 3D printing, metal 3D printing service bureau in 2012, when we installed the first EOS machine to do pure services. And then since then, we have grown multiple machines there, and not just services. We have a very, very strong software team, and we started investing in our own software, like AM Optomet. It still remains the only software in the world that does automatic parameter generation for for materials. We have AM Builder, which is a file pre-processing software. So we invested in all those areas, and we grew this hardware over a period of time. And at this point in time of the company, like I said some time back, I think we are starting with a clean slate, and we are drawing up a future as to where all we want to focus on. And definitely medical, like I said, engineering has been my personal area of focus. But definitely I see that, especially talking to people like you, I understand medical definitely is an area that Intech needs to focus on. And for sure, going into 2021, we're going to do that, to focus on this segment. But however, we understand some of the challenges at this point in time. From some amount of talking around, I do understand. For example, as far as patient-specific implants. Sometime back I used to think there's knee and hip implants where that's probably the largest segment after dental. I used to think they were patient-specific, and it turns out it's really not. The sizes vary probably from Caucasians have larger bone structure than Asians, and again it probably differs among countries, ethnicity, and even within India, if you look at it, you have different sizes from north, south, east, and west. But you kind of can broadly put them into 5 or 6 sizes, and that are good for implantation. So you really don't have a need to scan individual patient and print a 3D print a part for him. So what's happening is that you have global majors like Stryker Medical, Zimmer, and J&J, who have gone into production mode with different sizes for different countries, and selling this globally. And sadly, none made in India. Last I heard, probably Stryker alone has about 180 machines in Ireland and is supplying the world. So entry into this segment for Indian companies is really, really going to be tough. The prospect of investing $1 million or so into hardware, software, and facilities, and then work towards getting an FDA approval, which could take a couple of years, and probably more investment. It's not very, not really a possible, area. Even if they manage, if they to do it, then they have to compete against a well-set supply chain from global majors, as I mentioned, right? So I believe if you have to see a homegrown company in this segment, then I can only hope that giants like Reliance or Tata's come in with a philanthropic bent of mind and start producing it locally. They can afford to do this and help the country lower these costs. Even today, the hip and probably the knee replacement costs are pretty high, and they can help in lowering this cost. But however, happily, that's not the end of the road. There are other patient-specific implants like surgical guides, tools, and test models that are required. And there are companies like Supercraft 3D out of Bangalore who are producing them. An imported set, I understand, could cost upwards of 15 lakhs and probably takes 6 to 8 weeks. But out of India, it's 3 to 4 lakhs and takes less than 2 weeks, is what I understand. Dental market, of course, is doing quite well. And actually, I did an analysis of Indian installations a while back, and probably about 20% or more of all the machines installed in India is the dental area, and it's growing. It's definitely an area of growth that we would want to focus on.
And also now that with recent times, what we found that people have also come into a consortium looking at setting up their service bureaus, which actually would also have dental as one fraction. So there were times when the entire dental solutions were offered by dental labs. But now
Right.
I also see that there are centers which are also taking care of dental as one fraction, medical equipment as one, orthopedics as one. So there
Right.
are, and very impressive to know that they are actually contacting us and 3D Graphy. So because what is happening is 3D Graphy is becoming a center for communication and consultancy also eventually as we progress. So I think the kind of inputs that we are going to be getting is, it's very interesting to know that there are a lot of specialization that need to be addressed. In fact, yesterday I was actually having an interview with one gentleman from Ecuador. Now he's a biomedical engineer, and he started a small startup company. Now he is very keen in terms of also seeing how he would want to introduce his services in India, and probably want to give his knowledge and intellect in terms of being associating as partners in the business.
Okay.
This was very specific to bilateral PAO, Pradeep, which I was not aware. So something which is for hip surgery, and this is a condition when a child at the age of 8 to 9 years, though very controversial, the child gets. This is actually something to do with the hip part, where because of the compression of the nerves, the chances are the child would actually be losing her senses eventually with time. Because it's again to do with neuro
Wow.
connected with the nerves. Now here is this expert who's done some great innovation, doing his bit of design and scanning, since he comes from a biomedical engineering background from Ecuador, to have found solutions for this and then have created an implant which can be set suitably and then also have operated it. I mean, operated as in work with the surgeon to operate it. And so he's done some good number of surgeries in that. I mean, helped in terms of being a catalyst in terms of offering solutions in this space. So I'm just saying there are a lot of openings in the medical space with innovation coming through, and there are a lot of opportunities in terms of offering these solutions. Business will eventually come, but I think it's important that we need to identify these innovators who are doing some great work. So that's something
Absolutely.
institutionally 3D Graphy is working towards, and that actually means that you know what is the end user's expectations. In terms of seeing that the last mile person, in terms of the patient gets the right solution, ensuring that his life is made more comfortable. And also now, as to also know that it is a life-saving technology, we are also seeing the times where we will also have artificial valves built with power printing going forward. In fact, I was actually talking to Dr. Ajay Kaul, who yesterday, he is also a cardiothoracic and vascular surgeon. He also spoke about stents, metal stents, which can be customized going forward,
Right.
and
Right.
also the uh, tissues which can actually help in terms of making these valves and
Amazing, isn't it?
yes, yes. So
Amazing.
I think going forward, this technology has a great potential,
Yeah.
Pradeep, and and congratulations to you and your organization for all the good work that you've been doing.
Thank you.
I think it all pays well when you have a very focused approach. And I know Sridhar, he's been working really hard, and now with this indigenous product and solution in terms of also being world class of its kind, I'm sure there's a long way in terms of that's the right way going forward in terms of also seeing that the country can proudly say that we have our own indigenous machine in metal.
Right.
So congratulations to you, Pradeep, for all the good
Thank
work,
you.
and I'm sure we'll be in the course of learning from each other and getting to know how this can actually benefit the end user at the end of the day. Thank you so
Definitely.
much for your time, Pradeep, and have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.